Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. My videos are about infinite energy, infinite love, infinite creation, because this is who we are. The heartbeat, the human heartbeat gives us life. Without the human heartbeat, we wouldn't exist. It's the pulse of life, it's the pulse of creation. It generates an electromagnetic field around us that powers the human body, the brain, so we can think, be conscious, self-aware. Our organs function as a result. So we can go and power our lives and generate and create and be driven by our heartbeat and our love, because this is what it is. You see, it's all connected. The heartbeat is telling us, I'm giving you life, biologically speaking, so you can love, because it's the same place. The heart that gives us life with the heartbeat is the same place where we love. So we love with our hearts. So our instinct to live is our instinct to love. It's together. We live to love and we love to live. Why? Because it's in the very nature of who we are. We're a benevolent species. We're a benevolent race. This is who we are. We are a loving species. We are a heart-based species. We are a love-based species. This is who we are. It's our nature to love. We love our creations. We make love. We have children. And our instinct to love our children, we raise them and develop them. So they do the same as us. They create, they love, they're purposeful. And we don't only love our children, we love everything that we create with passion and with our hearts. And this is what we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years. We're builders, we're creators. We have been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So we are infinite creators, and we're infinite because energy is infinite. We're just expressing energy at a biological scale, and we love with our hearts, so we create with our hearts, because the love of the heart can be measured in hertz and rates. We have equipment and tools that can measure our heart rate and our heartbeat, and it can measure the love that comes from our heart. This emotion can be measured because it's energy, because this is who we are. The sun created the conditions on earth, and the earth created the conditions for us to exist biologically. So the sun creates at an astronomical scale, the earth creates at a terrestrial scale, and we create at a biological scale because we love, we're infinite. Energy is about creation. Creation is energy, so we create because we are energy. It's a nature to create. And we have an electromagnetic field. This is why we're energy. Just like the sun, just like the earth, and it's spherical, just like the earth, physically speaking, and the sun as well. But we also all have this electromagnetic field that's spherical, just like our eyes and our brains and our heart. This is what we're sundials, because our heart can sync with our brain and our eyes, and we stare at the sun. And our electromagnetic fields, both the brain and the heart, electromagnetic field can sync with the electromagnetic field of the sun itself. And it builds this bridge. We open the portal, we stare at the sun, we open our hearts, and then we're brave, we're courageous, so we can face all these vicious cycles that I'm going to talk about, and all this negativity, so we can focus on what matters, which is using our energy to love and to create. Because we're compass, we're here to create, we're identity in true self, with true self energy, we're infinite energy. We're here to create with our love, with our hearts. This is how it starts. Our instinct to live is our instinct to love. We live to love, we love to live. Who doesn't love to have a beautiful life, purposeful life, fulfilling life? We all do, because our instinct is to live and love. So we live to love, and then we love to live, because we love through creation. This is our nature. We're infinite eternal creators, we're infinite eternal compasses, we're infinite eternal sundials. This is who we are, this is our very own nature. And we all should be proud of who we are, this benevolent species. We have fully transformed into this light spherical being. All of us. We have metamorphosized. We are the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. We're the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're here to create, to love. So today's video is about a vicious cycle, and it's the vicious cycle of the shadow. I always speak about what that is, but I'll put it again in terms because this is the video. You can always refer to the visual on the website's repository, the Republic's repository, y.how/vicious-cycle-shadow. That's y.how/vicious-cycle-shadow. So essentially it's the vicious cycle of the shadow and how that plays out. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that cycle and how we break that cycle and we make it a virtuous cycle. because we're infinite creators, and we convert things from negativity into positivity because we transform ourselves, we metamorphosize into light beings. This is who we are. We're spherical light beings. We're infinite energy, infinite love, infinite creation. So let's start with this vicious cycle and what it means. Starts with the shadow. So we know what the shadow is. The shadow is this thing that is cast. We cast it as an object. We are the object. We are the creator. So the sunlight is here, and then we are here as an object, and then the light just casts this shadow off because with the object casting the shadow. But the shadow is lifeless, is formless, is just a thing that's there. It doesn't have volume, it lacks substance, it's not self-aware, it's not conscious. It's just this thing that we create as we cast it with our own existence, with our own creation. It's just a byproduct of not being addressed. It's the light that's been obstructed. You see, creation that's been obstructed. And how does that manifest into day-to-day life? Well, the shadow is this negative load, this negative energy from all this trauma, from the unconscious mind, repressed emotions, suppressed emotions, unaddressed issues, unsolved problems in our lives through trauma and events in the past. So it's this static, it's this friction, it's this low vibration, this destructive energy, this inert energy that's there. It's just background noise. It's in the back of our minds, it's in our unconscious. It's lifeless, but it's there because we haven't addressed it. Right? And this is a vicious cycle because we created it in the first place by not addressing the emotions attached to the events of the past. That's why we, the object, cast the shadow, because it is us that cast it through unaddressed emotions, because the light is being blocked, the energy is being blocked. The light is not hitting that spot because the object is on the way, our unconscious mind, right? And that's why the shadow is casted, is projected as a result. But how do we destroy and disintegrate the shadow? By casting light on it. And how do we cast light? By removing the object from the way so the light hits it. And we are light, we're energy, so we destroy the shadow with our frequency, with our love. And this is how we're gonna go about it. I'm gonna explain to you how we disintegrate the shadow. But before that, let's talk about what the shadow does. Because this is our negative emotions, negative cognitive load, unaddressed problems, unaddressed issues, unsolved problems. This is repressed emotions, suppressed feelings, all these different things, trauma, negativity, all this bad stuff that is in our life, this static, this friction, this low resonance, these destructive frequencies. Bad is very low, is fear based, is suffering, is pain, it's just bad, it's background noise, it's friction, it's a fantasy, it's an illusion, it's not real, really. We created it by not addressing it. That's why it sits in the background in our unconscious mind. So what the shadow does, it has a defense mechanism, and this defense mechanism is triggered by not being addressed, and the way it shows is by low self-love, fear, pain, suffering, all the things that are recasted by the trauma, right? Because the defense mechanism is triggered, and what does that do? It relieves the trauma, it relieves the experience in the way of a memory. So we recast it, we reproject it, we just render it, so the memory brings up the trauma, and then the emotion comes, right? And this is manifest in the way of avoidance, denial, fantasies, illusions, all these different things, right? Those are the defense mechanisms of the shadow, and it's all low vibration stuff. It's bad energy, it's negative stuff, it's excuses, inaction, low self-love, fear, pain, suffering, victimization, all these different things, because it's not being addressed, right? That leads to inaction, obviously, not taking action. Fear paralyzes us, so it's obviously the shadow is fear-based for the most part. So this is it, and it leads to low self-love, right? So that's why the shadow is never addressed, because it's just this cycle that just goes on and on and on, this vicious cycle. So that's what the cycle is, and the visual is there so you can observe it. But we can break this pattern, we can break them all, we can break the cycle, because we're energy, we're infinite creators. You see, we manifest our free will with our actions here and now, because we have a resonance field, we are a force field of creation, high frequency, high vibration. Just give me a second.